Welcome to Soft Light Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Boswell. Thought I'd come on tonight and just say hi, have a real conversation, encourage you, chastise you, and help get you right. Um, how was your 4th of July? Me, myself, and I actually didn't do anything. I stayed home and just chilled out. I was surprised. I haven't been um, keeping up with the weather like I normally should. It started raining, so if I would have went somewhere, it would have stopped anyway. But I hope that you have had a wonderful 4th of July and also a great week, and that you head into an even better weekend. For those of you that are new, I'm your host, Boost Boswell, that is. I talk about real life, I talk about mental health, and I talk about subjects that will hopefully help get you well. Everybody deserves to live a happy, healthy life. And sometimes you just need a nudge or you need somebody to set you straight and tell you the truth. That's me. So, welcome on in. Here lately, I have noticed this common theme of young women that are just making piss poor decisions when it comes to love. Now, let me put this out there real quick so you know my stance. I'm not one of those women that don't believe in love or anti-man, none of that. I love men. Wouldn't want anything but them. But I'm at the stage in my life where I ain't gonna slave or throw myself to their mercy just to get a piece of a man or some attention. I learned how to love myself. I learned how to uh, separate myself from the real and the fake and the unhealthy so I can get to peace. And that's where I'm at. So I don't play them games. But a lot of people don't know what I know. They ain't did the work that I've done and they are still in unhealthy, toxic relationships. And they seem lost. Many times I want to know where their mama's at. But if we being truthful and honest, sometimes this is where they learn that uh, toxic behavior from. Uh, this platform is open and welcome to anybody that would like to come on. Just giving you a heads up. If you want to join the conversation, it's always the link that's pinned in the comments. You're welcome to come aboard. If not, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. I was on another platform and I was following this very popular content creator. She got over a million some followers. And recently, her and her boyfriend had broken up. And she was going online discussing her personal relationship, how a lot of people do. You know how we do. So it ain't nothing new. And she was saying how she was disrespected and not appreciated in the relationship. And being that she has such a large following with over a million plus people, she was saying how she has helped him elevate his life because she incorporated him into a lot of her videos. And in turn, he has built a platform not as large as hers, but he still has a very nice following. And she started to really give people insight, authentic truths about her experiences with him. I see people coming in. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. That'll help the algorithm and uh, get this live out to more people. If you'd like to join this platform, you're always welcome to hit the link in the comment section. The platform is open to anybody that wants to engage. If not, just stay in the comments and we'll keep on our way. Baby girl vibes, how we doing, my friend? So glad you found me. Blessings, Boost. Hope all is well. I made it and I didn't get a notification. I saw you on have taken meds, so not sure how awake I'll be. Listen, I'm always glad to have you here. Sit back, relax, and stay as long as you can. And when you doze off, sweet dreams, my friend. Just talking about this commonality that I'm seeing in a lot of young people here lately that are very public with their relationships. One particular young lady I'm speaking about, her and her boyfriend just broke up recently. She got over 1 million plus followers. Um, I think she also has Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's is when you have those uncontrolled outbursts. Um, I appreciate you being here. Much appreciate you, my friend. It's always good when we catch one another. The young lady, she has Tourette's, and she's very popular. Her and her guy broke up. He yeah, Tourette's syndrome. Uh and so she went live, kind of being authentic and honest about, what life is really like with him versus the content that she creates, where they, how these people do, they come on these platforms and lie. They lie their butt off, acting like, it's this beautiful, uh healthy relationship, and behind the scenes all kind of hell breaking loose, pretty much is the what I gather that was going on with this young lady. She said she felt disrespected, used in a way, that she helped build his platform, because he ain't got over 1 million followers like her, but he probably got 600, I can't remember, 400 to 600,000 followers. And that's pretty good off of her popularity and notoriety. And she incorporates him into her videos, but she was saying, how he was very disrespectful to her, and how she didn't feel valued and appreciated and things of that nature, and that she was done with him, and that she didn't want to be in you know an unhealthy relationship. That was just a couple days ago. I say no more than three, if that. I'm scrolling day, who on there with they supposedly ex doing videos talking about yeah, do me a favor, watch my ex while I go in here. Her. I just shook my head. Matter of fact, I responded to her video. um a lot of times when I see this stuff, I often wonder, because these are mainly young people, and we've all been there. Wisdom is a gift, wisdom is a blessing that you should offer up to the generations that come after you, because you've been through some things. And if young people are wise and aware enough, they'll take that information and apply it to their life. I was a young person that always was aware of wisdom from older people, and I always embraced it, and learned lessons from it. Just because you didn't go through it don't mean that you don't have to know about it, or you can use somebody else's experiences so you don't have to go through things. I was smart enough to know that. But in today's time, people just don't seem to connect the dots in that way. Hey, Rudolph, man, how you doing, my friend? Welcome on in. Just having an authentic conversation about real life and what's going on. So this young lady wasn't even a good 72 hours, and she back with this guy that she didn't told the whole world he disrespected her, used her. And I just wonder, where these young people's, specifically girls, where their mothers are at, because they're so young and impressionable. But the truth of the matter, I didn't say it many times. A lot of times they don't have a relationship with their parents or their mothers. It's a very damaged or severed relationship, unfortunately. And these young girls think they got all the answers, and in reality, they are doing themselves a disservice um, when they are not trying to maintain a relationship with their parents. Sometimes you have to sever the relationship because the parent isn't healthy. But what I know to be true, at 50 years old, uh, at my darkest times, at my most vulnerable and my most immature moments, the one person that I was always able to call that showed up and that never steered me wrong was my mother. Uh, Rudolph said, I've been doing fine, just staying busy and off the radar. That's a great way to be. Me too. I'm just staying on the beat of telling the truth, responding to all this foolishness out that's going on these internets, and hopefully helping some people make sense of it. Another one I seen today that was even more so troubling. I'm learning these new people, and they all young, two young ladies. They are in a lesbian relationship. They got married, I guess. I ain't never seen nothing like this. They on live today arguing like a cats and dogs. And what really caught my attention outside of how toxic the relationship is, they had over 11,000 people. Hear me, 11,000 people that sat there and watching this live. And them people, it wasn't no like fluctuation. Them people was on there consistently. And basically these lesbians, one's real masculine and the other one has had two babies. And what they did, and I thought that was interesting, they got the in vitro fertilization. They called it something else too, but in order, so for them to have DNA in the children, the one that's carrying the kids, they got two kids right now. And the sad part about it, the girl is pregnant with twins, so they'll have four in a minute. She took the eggs out of the other girl, and she had them inserted in her. So, and she carried the baby, but it was in the other girl's eggs. It's a different world out here. But listen, the what I walked away from that lab was these lesbian relationships are more toxic than a heterosexual. There are a lot of young ladies that are in same-sex relationships, and they are abused. Um, Sometimes I think worse than a man, because I don't care what nobody say, a woman know a woman better than a man ever will. So when you can maybe be more wittier than a man in some cases not, where a man might not pick up on something, you don't have that luxury when you are in the same sex relationship, because like you, they know you because they the same sex as you. But these two young ladies went back and forth and just treated each other worse than dogs. And you had over 11,000 people that just sat there and watched, and they sat. Both of them was wrong, but you had a lot of them saying, instead of correcting and giving uh, the young lady that's pregnant with the twins, which will be their four kids now, because the male girlfriend that act like the male, she was telling her she didn't want no more kids with her and to have an abortion. Unbelievable stuff out here on this internet. And I could tell that the other girl is just emotionally exhausted and drained. And people aren't telling them like the truth. They taking sides instead of saying time out. Young, and I mean these young kids are involved. These kids, one ain't even a year old, I don't think, and the other one can't be no more than 2 or 3, and now she's pregnant with twins. And we wonder why these young people are walking around with no emotion, no attachment to people. You know, they spending so much time. See, I can sit here on the live because I don't have grandkids, or I don't have kids that are young that need my attention. They grown, they living their life. So this is my form of entertainment. This is how I give back to the world, by sharing my wisdom and my common sense. Take it or not. And I like to also talk a little shit and make a little comedy out of stuff, because I'm old enough to know I can't be serious all the time. I gotta smell the roses and take a deep whiff of fresh air when I can, and I do that on air. Welcome in, Talk with Nino. Um, she says my cousin is bisexual, and she said her same-sex relationships were more toxic. Listen, that's what I'm talking about right there, Nino. Um, I've heard that before, and I've seen that. On the live today. Them chicks, it was worse than a man. I wanted to say in the comments, but I just, just going different lives just to see what's going on in the world, because I know that there are a lot of people struggling emotionally. Um, and just get a pulse or, and a temperature on, like, where we at truly as a people, as a race. Not a It ain't a black thing, it ain't a white thing, it ain't a Hispanic thing, it's a human race thing. And every race, across all spectrum, people are suffering and hurting, and they live in very unhealthy lives, and they're normalizing this stuff. Just a quick update for anybody that comes in. Number one, please hit the thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. But I also always have the link to come on the platform if you want to, in the start in the comment section. You don't have to, just letting you know. Um, but Nino, you hit the nail on the head. These women out here, they better off with men. These women, they whooping these other chicks' tails, emotionally draining them, and it's sad. It is a sad state of events. I ain't never seen nothing like these two chicks over there with 11,000 people watching them, just going toe to toe. She's saying, "My baby daddy, I don't love her no more." She's saying, "Have abortion." And she's saying, "You was ugly when I met you. Uh, I just dealt with you because you had a good personality. You wasn't nothing then. I made you what you are today." And these two chicks got two kids, and pregnant with twins. I don't understand it. And I believe there are a lot of people that are emotionally just distressed. I did a video yesterday because I seen it. I got it posted over here. Beautiful, beautiful young lady from Brazil. Um, did her story yesterday because I came across it. She um she passed away the other day because she had a botched BBL job done. Had just did a video, reacted to a video, because I did a video several weeks ago about BBL smell. That's what's going around in there. People don't share the harsh truth. People starting to come out sharing the hard truths about all this body work people getting done, and the side effects and the downsides of that. And so maybe that's how the algorithm has suggested, because it was a new video. The girl just recently passed away from having a botched BBL. Beautiful, beautiful young lady, married with two kids, gone. And I think we need to start having these honest conversations, and people really need to get out their own way and understand that ain't nobody jealous at all. It's about your mental health. See, over here, that's how I started talking on these platforms, because number one, I went through a depression and anxiety myself back in 2019. And once I was in therapy and I started to get well, I wanted to share and encourage other people that look like me, and all people, but more specifically, Black people, because I knew that most people within my community wasn't seeking any mental health. And there was a lot of people that were struggling emotionally and are still struggling emotionally. And somebody needed to tell the truth. I started talking before Taraji and all them came out about real life. And I think that's the best thing that we can do, is to show up authentically and tell the truth to people, because this internet is a bad boy. And it's a lot of people that are out here suffering, that's trying to live up to false expectations that they'll never meet. And you would think, with all the resources and the visibility that we have out here today, that there would just be more resources and more structure around this information, and what we deem as healthy in today's time. And it's just going the total other way. And it's a sad state of events. It really is. It's like the more toxic you are, the better. And what's even more disheartening now, nobody is perfect. I know I damn sure ain't, but I do carry myself with a level of responsibility. I don't carry myself uh and try to reach a certain level to where I'm not relatable or I'm outside of who I really am. I'm not a major cusser, but I do cuss. I like to say shit and damn when somebody pisses me off, something like that, or when I'm trying to be funny. But I do hold a level of responsibility. It's a lot of older people out here that is not being accountable for how they show up in the world, and it takes us down a dark path. And these younger people are watching, and unfortunately, um, a lot of them don't want to hear what we have to say because their relationships and their example of older people is just so unhealthy and distorted, and that's where we are today. But those same sex relationships, I don't care what, you have a right to live your life how you want to live. And I know a lot of people are speaking out because the elections are coming up, and I ain't getting into that. But a lot of the LGBTQ community is starting to speak out because if Trump get back in office, supposedly he gonna reverse, all of their rights, and they're very concerned about that. Well, I'm very concerned at the fact that we don't even have as much rights as they do. The state of the world is just in a bad situation, and to be honest with you, so many people out here are acting so desperate for a mate that people don't need a date, they need therapy. They really do. I was talking to some friends earlier about this. I said, people out here, they act like they can't live without a man, or they have to have somebody, and most times than not, you don't need nobody. You need a support group, and people need to start telling the truth. Start being comfortable with the uncomfortable. So we have developed and nurtured this society and culture that agrees, with everything. I get blocked so much. They block me all the time over there on TikTok, um because I say my opinion, and if it goes against what they think, um they'll block you. If you are not 100, and what kind of world is that creating? What kind of life is that creating for yourself? To be honest with you, nobody will. Nobody is going to agree with anybody 100% of the time. And if you do got people in your life that's agreeing with you 100% of the time, you better run, because them people don't give a damn about you. Either they don't give a damn about you, or they scared of you and they need to run from you. One of the two. But it's just not a reality. It's checks and balance is there for a reason. It creates and nurtures a healthy debate, a healthy interaction and exchange. But when it's always one way, at some point it's going to deteriorate and rot away. And you know we have just created this unhealthy sense of agreeable entitlement. I don't even know what you call it, but it definitely isn't what needs to happen, for these young people as they go forward. And I'm really concerned about these young people. I really am, because emotionally, um, they are just at a true disadvantage. I was talking to my son about some young people, because he oversees young people that are in detention centers, that have uh, done some serious crimes. Nino says, I don't say much in these chats, even if I don't agree. I have seen in certain sectors where they actually do folks and call you. You know what? That's true too. And I think about that too, where they can't call mine because I've been off, and I ain't got nothing to hide. Um, but they'll call, somebody was talking about that too. Um, they intentionally try to call your job and get you fired, and that's a shame. It is a shame how vindictive and evil uh people are. These people out here are very, very unhealthy, and it's like they wake up wanting to be negative and to do wrong. If you are not in agreement with these people, hold on, because they'll be to see you, and they gonna deal with you. And it's just it's unfortunate. And these are and a lot of these young people, they are very, very vindictive. And I was talking to my son. I meant to say Dax. I don't agree. Um, I was talking to my son because he deals with young people anywhere from 10 to 21 that have committed some adult crimes, essays, unaliving people, and robberies. And we were talking about just how they don't have the emotional intelligence um, that we have. A lot of these cases, unfortunately, uh, they're mental cases. A lot of these young people out here committing crimes are mental cases. And what's even scary and eerie is these kids, these ain't older people. You're talking about anywhere from 10 to 14 are the biggest culprits that's out here bang banging and unaliving people. 10 to 14. Think about, let them numbers sink in. 10 to 14. I have my own business and I have to protect it. Amen. They will go on your site. And I've seen, oh my goodness, and put negative reviews just because you have a different opinion. You are so right, Nino. Listen, I seen the other day, what was it? It was some girl, she did something that they didn't like, and the girl owned her own business. My mind went blank, but it was some, they deemed her as a bully. It's a standard agreement. They all went to her reviews and comment section and um gave her bad reviews and flooded her comments with bully. I mean, I don't know if it's actual or not, but I know because I went to her page. They put they blew it up with a bully and bad reviews. They will take you down and not think twice about it. And that's the whole thing. You have to be very intentional and very guarded out here on these platforms because this is a dangerous game. And they don't give a damn about you. They will take you down and be very intentional. It's like standard. Call their job, try to get them fired. Take their site down, make their review. So I think one girl was a hairdresser, and I forget what the other girl was, but it was extremely bad reviews, and and it's just unfortunate. You you got to know what you're dealing with out here. And I'm telling you, the more that I'm out here, I learn so much more. And I bring it back to try to enlighten people. It is, you have to move differently out here, and you got to know what you're dealing with. I have regular conversations with my son because you know most of my career I manage people. Thank God I don't manage them anymore, and I don't never want to manage them again. um I actually became injured emotionally from the extended levels of stress. Still in therapy, trying to deal with it. That's a real thing. That's why I speak out against this stuff. This is real life, and people out here playing. And these people will turn your life upside down and take you down, and not think twice about it. And I have regular conversations with my son because he manages and he's responsible, when he's there to oversee a group of these offenders, these young offenders. And I make sure I give him the right advice because the system ain't set up for the employee, not working for the city and the state. Because if them kids flip out, which most of them kids are emotionally disturbed, they violent, they have done some serious crimes, adult crimes, and you can't have any weapons or things of that nature. So if one of them kids lash out at you, you're supposed to be able to defend yourself. But how you gonna do? You defend yourself, but you can't. You can only take it to a certain extent because then you could be charged with assault. But these kids, some of them bigger than you, and they don't care nothing about you. They'll come at you and try to hurt you, and you can't have no weapons. It's a sad state of events, and they don't have any mental health programs. And 90% of young people that are in these institutions are mental cases. What's going on with and 99% of them look like you and me. I want to start a page about raising a child with cerebral palsy, but don't be. Do it. We can collab. I'll just come and sit on your lap with you if you want me to. Start a page. Just start how you can do it. Start your so you already got a page. Talk with Nino. First thing you do a couple videos, like record yourself and just upload them and start doing that more and more. And then when you feel like it, uh go to the next step and start going live, you know. It's like riding a bike. The more you do it, the more you get comfortable. Last year, I used and look, so I've always had to speak in front of people, right? But I it's not natural. I've always so what I have been good at in my life is I've always pushed myself to lean into my discomfort. See, baby girl bye, she just subscribed. We waiting on you. Let us know. Um, I keep showing up and pushing myself to do things that I'm not comfortable with doing. And it's and it hasn't, but I've done that my whole life. So that has been a strength of mine. Because some people will run it from their fears. I tend to run towards my fears. And I have benefited from doing that. And then things that I've been afraid of, as time goes on, I'm not as afraid. I encourage any and everybody. Um, Everybody got a story, you know. I'm still going to really start focusing more on relationships with your adult kids because, see, I got a great relationship with my son. In aspect, my son has always been respectful. Always. I've never had those issues with my son, but he's a loner. We're not as close, like, as I would like us to be. I would like to talk to him every day. I talk to my son. He talks on an as need basis, but that's how he is with everybody. So I've learned to adjust that. My daughter, she another story. She 10 years younger, and she a part of that Gen Z. These younger people, and they just a different breed. And I have learned in them learning because she could trigger me. She knows how to push my buttons and trigger me to where I back up away from her. She'll be a junior in college. Um, because she know everything, but she a beggar. And I don't, and I, you can't talk to me crazy and you can't use me. So I speak about things that not just I've seen other people, but I'm going through, and I know so many other people going through because it's not my daughter, it's a generation. She ain't alone, and I know my struggles and my expectations that she don't meet as far as boundaries and our relationship. I ain't the only one going through that. Some people's situation look a lot worse than mine. I'm only gonna take so much because, like I told her, I said we was talking earlier, and I forget what she said, but oh, she said she was talking about when she graduated. I was asking her about her car, and hold on, let me catch up on this, and I'll tell you this. Yep, we do that over here too. Talk with It's a lot of us. Baby girl, Bob, to tell you about it. We done been together for about a year now. Um, but my daughter, she had car trouble recently, and so I was asking her about her car, and her father got it fixed, and she said she just needs to get a new car, but she's gonna wait till she graduate. And I said, well, what you gonna get? She said, y'all need to figure that out. I said, oh, my day is done. I'm not buying shit. And she said basically, and I mean that, I'm done with that. No, no, no. I didn't had to take out a loan 1 year to help with her college because I didn't save. We still working our way out of poverty as a race. Ain't nobody lying over here. Um, and you think I'm gonna buy you a car? Wait on it. But I went through that with my son. I'm done with that. But she got a car. And what I do know is the more you give them, the worse they are. Those that get out here and earn their living, they much better people, more appreciative. But when I told her I won't be doing that, and she was like, she made a decision that she when she graduated that she gonna deal with us on a as need basis, like maybe a couple times I can't remember. It must have been a couple times a month because it can't be a couple times a week. I said, I don't give a damn. I said, whatever you want to do, I'm cool with it. And she said, well, good. I said, I meet other young people that, can benefit from me. Well, she said, I'm good. I'm so happy for you. It's about to get, you know what, I told her? Have a good evening, click. I'm not going to go through that. Absolutely not. Because what I learned and what most will learn, especially when you're not an abusive parent, she said I used to be abusive in the aspect. I used to be very aggressive with my tone, but that's how I was raised. I have since tried to cater that, but I still ain't gonna take no shit off of you neither. Um, but what I'm not gonna do is let you hold me hostage, and what I'm also not gonna do is let you cross boundaries that no matter who you are, these are in place, and you got to respect them. No, no. And see, some of these parents out here, they have really made their kids so much a part of their life that they let their kids manipulate and take advantage of them. You ain't doing that to me because I got two kids. You only got one mama. And contrary to what people believe, people be thinking, oh, well, they got influence of somebody else. People, and there are good people, but there will always come a time where you are reminded that ain't your mama or that ain't your daddy. I don't care who you are. I learned it. I've seen it. Others learned it my whole life. And what makes you think you so damn special that you ain't gonna learn it? Um, Baby girl Vi said, my youngest son is like that. Know my triggers and uses them. I just let him mouth off. Can't argue with it. Yep, that's where I'm at, baby girl. Exactly. I used to argue with my daughter. I don't do that no more. For what? And like, I don't need her. I love her, but I don't need her. I need her to do well for herself and take care of herself. See, at this point, she still need me. There's a difference. Um, yeah, baby girl Vi's always been a a great supporter. I love her for that too. Um, yeah. Oh, Nino, look, let me take make sure when you get a chance, Nino, comment on one of my videos so that I got posted. So when this is done, I can follow you. I'll follow you. Um, but we got to be honest, and then you got these people out here just being fake and phony, won't acting like they kids, these scholars, they the valedictorian some damn body, want them to have the best of everything, and they don't deserve a funky nickel. They supporting little devils that's out here ain't been contributing to the world positively. And then when these young people flip out on them and put all these conditions on them uh and don't want to deal with them no more, they don't they act like they don't understand why, because you didn't help create this terrible, poor character person. And it's just it's a shame. No problem, no problem, Nino. But yeah, it's sad. Yeah, baby girl vibes. You got a TikTok account? I'm telling you. So this is what I see. YouTube it's a unique society. You got people that's on all the platforms, but I get a different experience on YouTube. I like YouTube the best. Facebook is full of miserable people, older miserable people that that's stuck in a way of thinking, stuck in their old way, no change, and they don't want to progress and make some adjustments to help push a positive agenda forward. It's like my way or the highway, and unfortunately, these young people ain't going for that. Not that we got to basically go for everything that they putting out there, but you have to be able to identify with some people, have some level of engagement. My son was telling me this early, so he really has a good relationship with these young criminals. That's what they are. Um, because he's closer to their age than this older gentleman that's been there 25 years. And basically, the older guy, when these young people violate, they got to write them up. My son don't write them up because they don't do anything to violate. So the man gets mad. And I asked my son, I said, uh, do the guys ever do anything where you supposed to write them up? He said he didn't had to like warn him. I said so verbal warnings are allowed the initial time. He said yeah. He said once I warn him, then that's it. He don't have no problems with it. I said then damn him, you doing your job. I said he's too far removed. He's a couple generations from them kids. Them kids can't identify with him. And what that older guy don't understand, because he's so much older than these young people, is they don't give a damn about you and they don't respect you. And that's just what it is. Nino said it's scary to think that this young generation will be the ones to care for. Listen, they done already told a lot of us you going straight to the nursing home. I was telling my friend that so he got a daughter grown. He in his mid 50s. He was diagnosed with is it prostate cancer a couple years ago. He had a successful surgery from what I understand. And but he only got the one daughter. She in her 30s, and she's not dependable. He's not married. He's divorced. So he was saying like he doesn't have confidence, or he doesn't think that she's responsible enough for him to put her as his person of authority over making decisions in his life, and that he really do believe just by her behavior that she'll push him off into a nursing home, and that's true. I said don't think it, believe it. I said because that's where you going. I said your best bet is to stay as healthy as you can as long as you can. I remember, and I told my sister this. I said, because she got quite a few kids, and they having kids, so they want her to babysit. I said, that's too many damn kids. I talked about this the other day. But long story short, I said, they all your children have all these young families and they want you to be there, but you still working age. You can't be as available like that, especially not during the weekdays. You gotta work the next day. That's crazy as hell. But I said, and truth be told, because she got a closer relationship with her sons than her two daughters, in which she would trust herself with her sons more than her daughters, and that's a shame. But we all know that's reality. Um, I applaud and I want mothers to know that have close relationships with their daughters. That's a blessing and a gift, because for whatever reason, there are so many uh female to female relationships that just don't work. Mother and daughters, to see a mother and daughter, and I know very few that really have a healthy, loving relationship with their daughters. Um, it's rare. And I stand on that. It might be very prevalent, but from the people I know, from the life I've lived, from the generations and generations of the 50 years that I have been in existence, it's a rare, it's a rare relationship. More mother and daughter relationships are not healthy. They toxic as hell. The mother don't like the daughter, and the daughter wish she was dead or don't give a damn about her. And it's sad, but I said it exactly how I meant it, and I said it exactly how I've witnessed it. And we got to start being honest about this shit. Baby girl, me too. I was a daddy girl. I always thought my mom didn't want. Listen, so I'm the youngest of five. I'm the youngest of five girls. Honest to God, all five of us are we're daddy girls. God rest his soul. My mama's still alive. We love our mother, but it's a different love. It's a different love. And I love my daughter, but I'm the youngest of five girls. I never did want a daughter because my sister remind me of this. Excuse me, y'all, but this grown folks conversation. I said them bitches turn on you, and I'll be damned if I wasn't right. Nino said, "I'm scared of the young folks in the nursing homes too. I'm scared of them. They be pinching them old people. Can't nobody tell me they don't. Funny, not funny. I only have one child, and she has cerebral palsy and requires full time care. My ass would likely be in a nursing home. Wow. I know that full time care is a lot of work too. Um, but that's a reality that a lot of people living with. I'm sending you love and strength too, because I know that's a lot of that's just a lot on the person. And Angelita said, definitely a blessing. I love my daughter. Absolutely love her. Yes, and I absolutely love my daughter too. Uh, trust me, don't nobody love their daughter more than I love mine. But the reality is, she can take her ass on down the street, because what she not gonna do is trigger me and hold me up to this expectation that I'm not willing to live up to. A lot, and what I know, a lot of these young people, they holding these expectations that's just not realistic. Like I said, my daughter, she grew, but she's a part of this younger generation. She was born in the social media age. She only 19. She won't be 20 until September. Seeing the best of everything. They just think they supposed to have everything. Her friend in high school, um my daughter wanted this new car. I don't know what made her think she would deserve a brand new car as her first car. Her friend, she had a trust fund because her father unfortunately unalived himself, and there was a lot of money left for her and her brother. So the car my daughter shared that she wanted, her friend went out and bought it. So my daughter just think like all this money is everywhere. I'm like, you in college, you got an excellent meal plan, you don't even eat 3 meals a day, and then you want all these different packages getting sent to her. Money don't grow on trees. My main priority is making sure you get out of college, and while you in there, you eating and you got the things you need, getting you to the point to where you don't need me. You want all those things, then go out and get them. I did. Nino said, "Oh, baby girl, speaking to you, Angelita. Um, I'm blessed. My mother and I have a pretty good relationship, and you know what? It is a blessing. I shared this on this platform last year. I share periodically my truth. My relationship, along with all my sisters, my four sisters, we had and I even had my mother on here a couple times. We had a strained relationship, but I did a lot of healing and a lot of soul searching throughout my life. And God helped me to heal when it came to my mother. I used to look at my mother with all these unrealistic expectations that she wasn't meeting, other instead of looking at her as a person, which she was. And when I started to understand her life, growing up, and her pains and traumas and history, it helped me to heal. And I no longer looked at my mother in a way that just wasn't unrealistic. I looked at her as a woman like me that needed love and needed nurturing that she never got. And that healed my heart in a way that just changed the total trajectory of our relationship. It actually helped one of my sister heal her relationships with her too. And I have a good relationship with my mother now, but growing up, I cannot say that. And I know my path and my experiences is no different than the majority of women that look like me. And that's why I encourage people to, speak authentically. And also, like, look, don't just look at your life, look at somebody else's life. I was able to heal when I looked at my mother's life and I saw her as a person. And, and that just changed my love and my heart towards her. And it was a blessing to her and me. Yep, these young folks have a sense of entitlement. It's entitlement that's just absolutely ridiculous. Hey, Faith, welcome on in. That's fine, girl. Listen, this one of them impromptus. You know how we are. Stay as long as you want and go as quickly as you like to. Just glad that you called us. um but yeah, that's our reality. And if you want an educational moment, I'm telling you, or you go on TikTok. Um, these um these young people in their relationships, it's something else. Man, it's something else, and it's troubling. It's troubling to see. Um, and I pray. I pray for my kids because I really truly would not want to be a young person of today. And they are suffering emotionally. They are really going through changes, and it's just a sad state of events. I'm glad that you and your mother's relationship. Me too. I'm very grateful. My mother up in age now. She in her 70s, and I know the importance and the value of time, and I value, the moments with my mother. My father passed away in 2009. I was in my 30s. I was far too young. and I will miss my father for the rest of my life. I'm glad you did too, baby girl. I mean, Faith. Um, and I know, who's to say I could go before my mother, but if my mother go before me, I will miss her for the rest of my life. So I value every moment I have with my mother now, because at the end of the day, what I know to be true is I don't care how jacked up my mama or whoever, mama is. Ain't nobody gonna never be able to replace her. My mother has showed me a love and a patience and a kindness that just no other woman will ever be able to do for me, because I only got one mother. That is my mother. And she holds a place in my heart that no other woman will ever be able to fulfill. And I am very, very aware of that. Facts. It's important to look at the whole picture. None of us are perfect. And listen, I had to apologize to my kids, and I've said this on this platform. I have apologized to my children for not being the best mother I could be. I worked a lot. I was mean. My kids said I was mean. I grew up my mother was an aggressive woman, and she had five daughters, so she raised us in fear. She said, I got these fat chicks, and I'm gonna scare them straight. But I had to pivot at some point in my life, and I've shared with my son, because we speak open and authentic, and I've shared with my daughter as well. I said I was a traumatized mother. I was a unhealthy mother. And when I went to therapy, I offered therapy for my kids. I offered them apology, honesty, and a road to healing. You can join me, but what you won't do is hold me hostage. I When I knew better, I did better, and I've come a long way. And I'm proud to be. And that's why I come out here, because I know it's a lot of people that need to, excuse me, walk down the path I have walked. Um, and that's just the truth. A lot of more people need to be honest with themselves. A lot of people out here lying. Y'all, these brothers be out here just lying their ass off. Baby girl Vaz said, my mother lived to be 96. Praise God. Wow. And she have been gone for 2 years, and it's still a void. But I know I have to go on. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Um, and I know, and age is it's like a life reality check. When I think about, what, I'm 50, like me, not baby boost, that's what my family call me. Um, and look at my mother, and she in her 70s. I still have moments where it's shocking to me. You know what I mean? It's shocking. And but it's a reality. And I know how quickly that this life ends. I have people that I love, that I thought would still be here, and they are gone, and they've been gone. And so I am very aware when it comes to life and time and relationships. Some people, I have accepted the fact, that relationship has ended. And I'm okay with that. Some people hold on to just bad, unhealthy relationships for dear life. Should have let them relationship go like a long years and generations ago. And they hold on to them like, like a ball and chain. And it's just a unhealthy state of events, you know? But I think when you get with people and you connect with people and you can have truthful, honest conversation as we are engaging tonight, it's healthy. It's promising. It's needed and necessary. You know. I even see a lot of these older women, and I just think it's terrible that do content and come out here, and they just trying to be the coolest chicks out here, and they look like damn fools, just as ignorant, and I know we are in a new age and stage in life, uh, where you got to pivot and you got to make some adjustments, and I'm all for it. But I'm not going to pimp myself out for nobody. I'm not going to degrade myself and act a fool for nobody. Now, do I come out and act a fool sometimes? Yeah, it's intentional. When I do, uh, and when I call myself funny and a comedian, that's intentional. I'm very aware of what I'm doing. I'm doing it on purpose. You got some people out here that's just too old to not know, and there's a lot of them out here that's old and they don't know, or they just so ignorant. They don't care. Nino said, aging is hard for me. I'm grateful to see 48 years, but I'm struggling with it. It's scary if I commit. Listen, I am there with you. I just turned 50, Nino, in March. And it has I still trip out some days because I'm like, you 50 for real? Like, you 50. It's a real thing. And sometimes I just be like, I can't believe this shit. But but it's where I'm at. It's where I'm at. And what I do know is, even with my struggles with it, what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna be blind and ignorant with it. And I ain't gonna lie about it, Some days, I'm like, and I look back and I'm like, damn, I was just fine yesterday. And here I am trying to put on some eye cream today. It's a I understand, Nino. I understand. It's the adjustment versus the adjusters. Some don't want to pivot. Yep. And those that don't want to pivot look damn straight ridiculous. Some of these old chicks out here, listen, yep, I be looking. Come on, you too old for that. Oh, it's terrible. It is terrible. I listen, like you said, sometimes I have to hold my tongue because, like you said, they'll look you up and try to get you fired. Um, but I'll be wanting to go hood on them. Like, you know what? Since we get here, can y'all excuse us for a moment? And you know how you just want to let out on them. It's like, you know what? This a damn shame. You should be ashamed of yourself. And what's even further more embarrassing is they don't care if they got kids and grandkids. They just as ignorant as they want to be. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Baby girl said, I'm 64 and I will never kill the urge to be silly. But that age said different. Listen, I'm going to always listen. I'll be on here, y'all. I'll be doing some videos. When y'all be like, what's wrong with her? Me over here acting silly. I'll be laughing over here by myself. Um, and I have a good old time, a real good old time. And because I said that, matter of fact, I said that on the video on TikTok today. I said, I make myself laugh better than any of you ever can. Can't nobody make me laugh better than me. And I'm telling you, and I can't stand the fake laugh. If I'm laughing, it's authentic. I'm really tickled. I got to preserve my energy. I ain't got time to be wasting it on some fake stuff. Yeah, listen. Sometimes you know what's in us all. Sometimes I just got to let it out. Yep, your body starts changing. When I get out the shower and walk past the mirror, oh, don't get me started, girl. Don't get me started. It's a damn shame. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you. Listen, Nino, that you bring up something that's very true. Um, what really made me start focusing, other than the fact that I live with it every day, is like when you look at when you're trying to find your size and say like you ordering something online, right? And it'll take you through that little tutorial, that series of questions, and they ask you like, your body frame and your and best measurements, and they always ask your age because uh 160 pounds, 5'4", 160 pounds look a lot different on somebody that's 30 and 40 than somebody that's 50 or 60. That made me start noticing that. Listen, listen, I just shake my head. And I'm gonna tell y'all, this is Tim out, but I'm gonna tell y'all something else that I done that I'm better now. But I never was a big girl coming up, right? I mean, I always had like, a little weight here and there, but I wasn't no overweight chick. I didn't deal with that. And when I got I think it started in my 40s when I started to get a pooch. I used to hold my like, and it'll be a small pooch. I got a bigger gut now, but the first time my gut started developing, I almost lost my mind. I was like, what the hell is that? I was like flabbergasted. Like, that's a fucking gut. I mean, and I said it like that because I was in shock. Like, you got a gut? Unbelievable. I'm over it now. Now I just got a gut. I'm like, I'm a walker. I wish you go away, but I'm so damn tired. I just put a girdle on it. But I manage it though. I don't want it to get too big. But yeah, that's a trip. That's a trip. That 40 pooch led me to think something wrong. Listen, it floored me. When that gut first started forming in my 40s. And I'm gonna tell you what else. Let me tell y'all this too, y'all. Oh, I don't know, Angelita. I know you was uh coming on. Anybody, if y'all want to come on the platform live, you it's in the comments. You don't got to, but it's on there if you want to join it, join the platform. Is see my COVID kicking in, y'all. I was gonna tell y'all something. What was I thinking? Oh, I'm gonna tell you what floored me, y'all. When them young little bastards uh start call they get real smart aleck and call you old. Say go sit your old ass down somewhere. The first time I start hearing, I'm like, who this bitch calling old? But that was an eye opener because them old people they very aggressive, disrespectful, and and arrogant. They'll call you an old ass in a heartbeat and tell you sit your old ass down before they sit you down. And the first time that started hearing these young people call me, oh, I'm looking around like, who the fuck is she talking to? They talking to you. And that's when that reality said, damn, because I wasn't used to people looking at me as older. But yeah, talking to your old ass. Sit your old ass down, grandma. Like, bitch, I ain't got no grandkids. Fuck you. But don't argue with them because they'll take you there. Them they will take you there. They'll cuss you out like a sailor. Yeah, listen, you can't even, baby girl, try that on TikTok. Try it, see what you get. They'll call you all kind of bees and everything else. They something else for real. I followed this one little young girl recently. She on TikTok and YouTube, but she was talking about her grandmother the other day. She was saying that her grandmother was a hater because her grandmother be trying to count her pockets, because she making a little money on these platforms, and her grandmother was counting her pockets and wanting to get her money. These young people, listen again. I don't say it to be mean. I say it because it's a reality. These young people don't love you like that. They don't. Some, it's not all. And I think we all intelligent enough to know I'm not saying all, but it's a great enough uh percentage of them that are the same characteristics, same level of intelligence and emotions. And I think that's because it's a generational thing. I don't think it's a family thing. I really do believe it's a generational thing. um growing up behind these computers, not developing relationships with people, outside playing, you know, don't have that natural ability to connect with people. I know my daughter, and it took me and her father a while to really identify like this girl is for real because she never like wanted to like making a phone call. Can you call and make the appointment for me? Or if she had to deal with people she never wanted to deal with. She always wanted us to do it. And we had to start getting to the point. No, you when she was 8, you call and make the appointment. You are like say if it was something like canceling an appointment. She never wanted, can you do it? Like she never wanted to do it because it was so unnatural for her. And it's a lot of them that's like that. And it's really about being aware, and understanding that there are new challenges out here. We had challenges. So I'm a Gen X. My challenge growing up, was teenage pregnancy, and what it was, teenage pregnancy, dope dealers, and high school dropouts. That was the big thing in my era. you know these kids nowadays is their emotion. They have emotional struggles, and it's a real thing, and we need to validate them. I see we got more people here. If you do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, I sure appreciate it. Nino said, no respect at all. They can see you standing there and they have no filter. When I was their age, I knew better. Listen, I didn't even cuss at all. I I was the youngest of five, so my mother was extremely strict. Five girls in the house, no, certain stuff wasn't gonna happen. Cuss words, my mother cuss your ass out, but you absolutely not. She'd take your teeth out. I wasn't even comfortable with cussing at all. And these kids nowadays, they'll teach you a couple things. They will teach you something. They'll teach you stuff that you don't want to know. I I stay aware, number one, because I'm nosy, but number two is I'm a I've always been intelligent enough and intuitive enough, and I got kids, so I want to know what's going on. I learn through other kids. You know what I mean? Um, and you have to, if you want to navigate out here successfully, you better expose yourself what's going on over there in TikTok. Them little fuckers will teach you a lot. They all seem like they are angry. They are very angry and they don't like you neither. But here's the thing. It's the younger ones, them little ones, them ones 10 through 14, them no deadly ones. Them the ones out. Oh, they call it 3D. My son was telling me about this. They call it 3D. Let me see if I can look it up. And it's a real thing. 3D cartridge, I think. 3D scanners. Where and this is a real thing. Google it. They can and they trying to figure out a way how to um manage it. Hey lady, how you doing? Link in the comments if you want to come on stage. Up to you. You don't have to. Just putting it out there. Um, you can buy this, and they can make a plastic pals, and they actually really do work. See, my son let me know that because a lot of them boys down there, they they uh they down there for unaliving people, robbing people, and everything else. Let me see. I think it's scanner. I'm looking for the word. And these boys, so and the boy was I think they call 3D scanners. You can make plastic pals and they work. You can put real bullets in them and they work. Google it. And you can order them. You can order them online. And that's what's crazy. Glad to hear it, friend. Glad you called us. Long day tomorrow. Good night. I drive my bedtime. Always a pleasure, Angelita. See you next time, my friend. Sweet dreams. Um but that's unbelievable. And these young boys, they see my son just turned 30 in June. He learned a lot from these boys. And so here's another thing, y'all. uh we have conversations because I try to, since I have had managed people for so long, and basically he managing them young boys because he responsible for them, giving pointers, because he got to be careful, because a lot of them boys got mental cases, but they identify with him. So he's only had one altercation where one boy attacked him. um but I check in with him to make sure he got all the right information, and and that he stays safe. But he learned a lot from them young boys, and he also said, like, he had compassion for them young boys. He thought, like, because they, around him, like, he said that just made a bad decision. A lot of them, don't feel loved. They mamas pick their boyfriends over them. So if it's between the mama and the boyfriend, then that boy going to the detention home because the boy butt heads with the mama boyfriend. So a lot of the boys come down in them detention homes and are angry, pissed, don't feel love because they mama picked that mofo over them. Which and most of them boys are in those situations because of that. Let that sink in. You heard about that before, Faith? Yeah, I never heard. My son the one hit me on that, and them young boys down in the detention center hit my son on that. Ain't that crazy? Unbelievable. You could buy them 3D scanners and make a plastic pal and use it and unalive somebody. That's scary. That's scary. And these boys be 10 to 14 years old. There's one boy down there because he took two people out, two 14-year-old boys out. His friend was getting an altercation with one. So instead of jumping in two on two, fighting like normal people would, he pulled out a pow pow and unlapped execution style both of them boys. And his friend is devastated because they both locked up for unaliving. And he said he didn't ask that boy to do that. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I have learned a lot. My son had learned a lot too, being down there. But he said, he had a lot of compassion for them young boys, thinking like, oh, they just made a mistake, and and that the system is too hard on them boys, right? Two of them boys that he was real close with, because they don't give him no problems. They identified with him, and he treat them like people. And that's why I tell him, I said, I always treat them with respect. I said, but don't never let your guard down. I said, because they down there because he just texted me. He said, it's good, Mom. It's smooth today. Praise God. I always text him and ask him how his night going. He just texted me and said it's going good. But them boys start getting comfortable, and they show, he's sitting there listening, and them boys start arguing with each other and saying, I was the one that started that pow powing people, crackheads on their heels. So basically, this one boy, it's a thing, I guess, like these young boys, they go out there and they might rob a crackhead and then shoot them, pow pow them in the heels of their foot. And this one boy that came down there was like, oh, you was a punk on in the streets. I used to rough you up. And so the boy got offended, the young boy's egos, not remembering who around, start saying, what when my son right there, I'm the one that I'm the one that started pow pow and crackheads in their heels. And my son looked like, what? And then another one said, it was a LGBTQ couple, that he act like he needed help, maybe had a flat tire. And then so she felt safe enough, nice young man, we'll help him. He hard them, like took their money and stuff and beat them up. And my son came back. He said, I was wrong. He said, I felt like stupid. He said, them boys had me convinced like they was, like just made a bad mistakes. He said, but I felt like I met the devil tonight. And my son was dead serious. He said, I felt like I met the devil. He said, they are the devil. He said, whatever they gonna get, they deserve it. And for my son to say that, them kids got to be rotten because he got a heart for them boys. And he called me. I could tell he was troubled. He was like, he said, I don't feel sorry for him at all. He said, what they do to them people out there, what I heard them say. He said, whatever they got, and the bad part about them boys going to adult jail. Then awareness said, then those same mothers expect these same boys to come back later and support them when they man's exactly. And by that time, awareness, them boys are resentful, bitter, and once they get that, once they heart turn towards their mamas, it's like something in them change. And these mothers don't realize these boys are fragile when it comes to them. They change, and once they hearts change for their mama, society can't do nothing with them. And they just as rotten and dangerous as they want to be. That's why that little guy, that guy, G, that I was telling you about the other day, um, he bring the realities, and it's just a sad state of events because these young boys, yeah, they thought they was big Billy Badass in the street, but they send and look, so these boys was 15 years old. They 17 now. They'll be gone. They sending them to adult prison um um next month. Them boys have no idea. I mean, and my heart go out to them. It's almost inhumane, but see, taking people's life is inhumane too. But what them boys have waiting on them is something terrible. It's one boy, he was telling me the other day, he kind of messed up because he went somewhere and there's three guys that gang ard him, took his manhood, young boys. And so that's young boys, right? You about to send these young boys that ain't with these hardcore men. They should have a facility where they like an interim. They don't send them until they 21. State of Ohio, you going straight to the big boy house, and they got some really rough ones in Ohio, and it's a sad state of events. Them boys don't know. It's terrible because I know what awaits them. I know what awaits them, and not what they did. One crime don't deserve a punishment, but they all look like you and me. And sometimes, and I know it's, I believe sometimes, I think these young, I don't want to use race, but race is a factor. Some of these other people, these other races, they don't, like if you black or brown, good luck. But these colorless people, they don't get, a lot of times they don't, unless they just a straight menace. They don't send them. They don't put them. These young boys, they don't get sent to those. Very rare. You can look at it. It'll be hard for you to find a underage uh colorless person getting sent to the big boy jail like these young black boys. It just don't happen. It don't happen. Unfortunately, the system doesn't help. I think most of the time it makes them. I know it makes them worse, and I think it makes. I think it's also uh they set them up with the intention of not trying to rehabilitate them. They put them in a position for them never to get out, because them young boys, they gonna get taken advantage of. They gonna get turned out, and a lot of times, they already emotionally struggling. A lot of them don't even make it out alive. This is real. Most are victimized early and become predators. Exactly, awareness, exactly. And this is what I'm thinking with these boys. I mean, they've been locked down since they 15. They 17 now. They'll be 17 years old when they get sent to these big boy jails. They got 25 and 35 years. They're gonna be 50 something when they get out. If they get out, let's just be honest. And do you think for the next 25 to 35 years they're gonna when they come out, they're gonna come out unscathed? It is so violent in these jails and these penitentiaries. It's inhumane. It's inhumane. And then a lot of times these kids come from perverse families, low income families. So the families don't ain't gonna have the money for them to run up their phone bills. And a lot of times they just get consumed in the system. And then them old predator men prey on them, take advantage of them. My son told me this, so I got a cousin, right? He did 30 years because we was talking about my cousin. He been out for a long time, but he was a big buff dude. And my son told me that he had told him, my cousin that did 30 years, he had told my son that when he was in jail that somebody had r'd him, and he a stocky dude. Them boys ain't got a chance because these are big burly, like you got to be very strong, to come up on these dudes ain't no soft dudes, like they grew up fighting and things of that nature. And these are boys that they might be tall, but they slinky, ain't no more than 160, 170 pounds wet. It's a shame state of events, y'all. And it's sad. And what's even sadder is these guys get out, and then you got these girls, they be the first one signing up trying to date them. Nino said, "It's been a pleasure, ladies. I'm going to get my baby ready." It's been a pleasure. Come back. And make sure you leave a comment. I'll follow you. Have a good night. I enjoyed your engagement. Um, Baby girl vibes telling her. Awareness said they disconnect once that relationship with their mom is broken. Exactly. No sympathy, empathy, or concern for others, just self-preserving. And I think that's the breaking point for them, though, y'all. That relationship, once that relationship with the mother is damaged, it turns those boys into something unthinkable. Unthinkable. Modern day free labor. Yep. Population control for Black Americans and modern day sharecropping. My friend. So look, y'all. I live down the street from a farm that for the penitentiary. That's they they I guess you got to be in good standing to work on a farm. That's like the elite job, but they got a farm right down the street from me for the penitentiary workers. And cuz so they get free labor, and if you want to eat, you better crop and grow your food. But this is where we are. And I just what those what those boys did is inexcusable. Some decent people's lives were lost, and that's inexcusable. But I just don't think that you should put them into the wolves like that. But I got to remember also what my son says, in the aspect of they deserve to go. Cuz in the beginning, he felt like they made a mistake, and like the system just, was just throwing them away. But I guess when them boys showed, slipped up and got comfortable and showed him who they was, he called me that night and he was like, "I have seen the devil." And he was very serious, like shocked almost. He was like, "I don't have no sympathy for him." So I got to remember that too. It's just not a win-win. Like to your point, awareness. They set these people up, these young people up to enter the system and to never get out. Because a lot of these too, if they ain't government funded, they private sector, and they can't make no money without them bodies in there. More bodies, more money. And then and we just sit. I'm just glad these younger people, or these people that are coming out, starting to be honest and bringing awareness of the realities and the terrors and the trauma that goes on, behind these prison walls, um to discourage, other guys, quit glorifying this predator and this animalistic type living and mentality, because it's a different you know, state of events. Once they get behind those doors, chain gang labor is what they do in Arizona. I don't know what they do in Ohio. I know they got farms out here in Jersey. He works in the detention center for the state. So a lot of them boys either, so for underage, so you're a minor, you didn't, but they didn't did adult crimes, unaliving people, robbing, sexual assault. They did some big boy crimes. So you either go to the youth jail once you get sentenced, or you go to adult prison. So from where he works, you either going to the youth jail or to the adult prison. And them boys that come through there, they ain't going through there for nothing minor. And what's also sad is some of them boys. So some of these states, I forget what they call it, but if you and your friend out here committing a crime, and your friend end up getting unalived by the victim, they don't charge the victim is not charged, obviously, because they protecting themselves. But what they do, they charge you with your friend's unaliving. It's a boy down there like that right now. His friend was the, I guess, robber or whatever, but his friend ended up getting unalived by the person that he was trying to rob, and they charged him because you was out committing, your friend was unalive while y'all was out committing unlawful crimes. Yep. It's sad. And then like my son says, like, some of those mothers don't come at all, or when they do come, they just as ignorant as they want to be. And like it's and these young people, like if they for good behavior, your family can bring you, like, say, the new Jordans, and I'll be glad when we get over that shit. Um, I quit buying my son Jordans at a young age. I started off buying the Jordans, but I stopped because he said, I think he wasn't no more than about 4 years old, 4 or 5. He might no more than 4. Said that's all he wore was Jordans, because I used to, I like clothes, so I used to dress him up. And that was the last time. I never bought him no more Jordans after that, because I didn't want him to turn into that person. I always kept him really nice, but I got away from I didn't want him to label like, oh, he got to just wear Jordans. Back then, Walmart had the Makias. They had some really nice leather Makias with the Velcro. I kept my son with some nice jean shorts or khakis on, with a white t-shirt, and I used to throw those Makias. They was real leather too. I liked them. Walmart don't make that kind of shit no more. But back then, and my son, and I always got compliments. Kept him clean, but I didn't want him to until and today. You know what? My son don't wear Jordans, and I'm proud of that, because he ain't no slave to that shit. See, I was very materialistic in the aspect of because I was a shopaholic, and I didn't want my kids to be that way. And so I just be rambling on, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. But anyway, my point was, they be bringing them boys Jordans down there. And why do you need Jordans and you locked up? This one boy's father, he bring every time a new Jordan come out, his daddy bring him the Jordans. Why are you bringing that boy Jordans? He in jail. It don't make no sense. And if he gets sent upstate, he can't take them Jordans with him, or if he do, them boys gonna take him from him. I wouldn't even send him no shoes like that. It's too dangerous. Yep, accessory. Yeah, exactly. So he charged with his friends unaliving, because the guy unalived him for that was trying to rob him. It's so many. When my son brings a lot of awareness that I just didn't have in my face. um but to hear, what's those boys, story, and they so young. I mean, I'm telling these stories, but I'm talking about these boys 14 years old, 15, 16, young boys, 12. And this one boy, he said this too, and I said, wow. Because they all got they all in get locked, when it's time to lock down, they all got their own rooms, because it's like a detention center for the county, right? One boy's room, he said, smell like pee, and the boys tried to play it off. He said, about 14 years old, said, yeah, because he a boy. He was like, your room the only room that smell like piss, because the boy, that young, he still pee in the bed. You out here committing robberies, pow pow and all that, but you that young, he still piss in the bed. I mean, it's just unfathomable. I mean, just think about that. You running around here committing adult major crimes, and you still pee in the bed. Ain't no mother at home. She too busy worried about a man or hanging out. Kids fending for themselves. They tired of not having nothing. So they taking matters in their own hands. Got to go out and here do something because me and my siblings is hungry. These are the subjects and the conversations that need to be had. This is the stuff that's really going on and that's serious. When I tell you, I wouldn't say nowadays, I wouldn't say nothing to the young person out in the streets. I wouldn't say nothing. I really wouldn't. They're very fragile. They are very fragile. And the sad part about it is they mama's just as ignorant as they are. Here another story, y'all, and then I'm gonna get off in a little bit. This is real. So I got a cousin, right? First cousin. This ain't no distant cousin. Had a baby by a hood rat chick. Hood rat chick. he had, I think, 4 kids with her. Now, they didn't get married, but they had kids together. Broke up. She had one outside the relationship, and then they had 3 kids. Broke up. She had a baby with another dude. I think he might even had a baby with somebody else. Then they got back together and had another kid. So total 4 kids, right? She got total 5. He might got 5 too, but they got 4 together. The first 2 kids, sons, the first son, he in jail for unaliving somebody. I think he got 80 years, menace to society. This is my hometown in Ohio. The second son, oldest son, he in jail now too. He in the streets, and but he want to be, and these small, they small in stature, you know, in them streets. He got to do some time. He in jail for some time. I don't know if I told you about this, but a couple months ago, the youngest boy, who they said was mild mannered to himself, he ended up unaliving an ex girlfriend. She had 2 kids. Um, was a nurse, had just finished nursing school, had a small, her youngest child wasn't even a year old, and I think the second child wasn't no more than 3 years old. I saw a video about them on him unaliving her. He went to her house, shot it, bang banged it up, and they tried the story that was generating going around saying because he was mad because she left him and started dating another dude, but the truth of the matter was she set him up and to get robbed, and he went and found her, and so God rest her soul. Um, but these girls dangerous too, is my point. So you got the 2 oldest ones that was already locked up. The youngest one got set up, and he went and lashed out at that girl for having him set up and unalived her. So it left the mother. They got a sister, and then the one child that wasn't by my cousin. So all 3 boys by my cousin are locked up now. 2 for murder and 1 for in the streets selling whatever else. Now I find out my son, because my son told me this. Um, the mother is locked up, and so is the other son. Um, that wasn't his. I don't know, because she was the type of mother. If you're gonna be in the street, make sure you drop me off my cut. One of them ghetto, just the worst case of a mother. So everybody locked up, but the daughter and my cousin. He don't, him and her ain't been together in years. My cousin ain't locked up, but all his kids, all of them, but his daughter and his ex, their mama. So everybody but the chick's daughter is locked up, including her, and they got some serious. I don't even think she got a bond. I don't know what she did, but so basically her and all her kids minus her daughter are locked up. Unbelievable. Can you imagine that? Or when it said, I worked mental health services in a local juvenile hall over 30 years ago. They were really confused, angry, mixed messages, and needing to survive, perform as men. Yep. That sounds like the facility my son is at. And actually, they're in need of more male leaders there, because most of them, is female. And what they say, so the males can't work on the side of the detention where females are at, only women. But they said them girls worse than the boys. Them girls over there worse than the boys, y'all. But yeah, my cousin, all his kids but his daughter and his ex in jail, and they looking at some serious time. Sick, sick. And they said the feds picked up her and the other boy, so I don't know what they was into. Can you imagine? And she my age. Who want to go to jail at 50? Can you imagine? We knock on some wood. I can't imagine going to jail. I pray to God I never do. Um, at this stage, at any stage in your life, but can you imagine? I just can't. Oof. But all those kids, they was doomed. They didn't have look at her. Matter of fact, them kids are so violent. Because they told my cousin they'd whoop his tail when they was growing. My cousin could do nothing with him. He had moved to California for a long time. He just got back from California, a couple years back because they were so bad that where like for his safety, he was better off not being because they had zero respect for him, and she encouraged that type of behavior too. He couldn't do nothing with them kids, and I told my son don't be around them. I didn't like them. I didn't like them at all. Yeah, it's very sad, but it's true, and there's a lot of them out there. That's a prime example of these kids out here. They ain't got no respect for their mama. So what you think you got coming? She didn't raise these kids to be prominent citizens. She encouraged bad behavior. Now it's then crawled up. Now her butt in jail with them. I tried to look up her mugshot. I couldn't find her. I told my son to send it to me. I had to text him, tell him to send it. I refuse to work with the female population. I wouldn't work with them neither, because and so look. What was I talking about earlier? I was on TikTok. I was talking about something. Oh, I was talking about something about I can't remember exactly, but it was something dealing with young women and how they aggressive and they violent. Because a lot of them out here that's violent, right? And I was telling my son that you need that I raised him to not hit a woman, but I also raised him to protect himself because some of these girls is deadly and dangerous. And I know somebody putting out comments that a man should never hit a woman. I said nope. I said and a woman should never hit a man. I said just like a kid, when you raise them and rear them, when they come hitting you, you try to tell them, and instruct them not to do that. They don't get the message until you pop them. I told my son the same thing, and I stand by that. Don't hit a woman ever. But if she violent, do whatever you got to do to keep that bride up out for you. And I mean that. Gotta teach her not because some of these guys is out of here because of these brides. These brides ain't nothing to play with. Some are more dangerous than men. Yep, exactly. It's real. But I just have learned so much from my son dealing with these people. But I told him I said we need to stay there for until you find something else, but don't get comfortable there because it's too much emotional issues down there. you know um it's too much, and dealing with people and always being in a stressful environment. I'm a living witness. You can develop symptoms and conditions, for being exposed for an insane and an extended amount of time to high levels of stress and and toxic behaviors. That's how you get sick. That's a real thing. And how that little um trend going around, the people being funny asking about, I guess Trump made that comment about black jobs. See, managing people on a lower level, like hourly people and stuff that especially in union environments, that's a whole nother situation. But that's black jobs because them high level stress jobs. Yeah, females are worse. They really are. I have seen some very vindictive women, very, and those, and we women, we know how women are. I don't care. I told my son, you don't hit women. I said, but if she hit you, hit her ass back. She'll learn to quit hitting. I know my son had this girlfriend because he ain't had too many relationships because he one of those ones that's always been in long relationships. She get mad, want to break shit. I said, put that little bitch on the phone in a minute. You ain't gonna be tearing up shit. You work hard for your stuff. And him trying to be a gentleman don't want to put his hands on her. I said, put her ass out. Don't let nobody tear up your shit now, because these girls something else, and I stand on that. People are something else, but I no longer give grace just because you a female, because I done seen these hoes, and they something else, and they have the mentality for real. Let's just be honest. They ain't got no love for the guys' mamas neither. They want you gone. They want you gone. They want you gone. You know I ain't lying, baby girl. Exchange of negative and violent people impacts. Yeah, for real. I remember I worked in this hostile environment. They was changing the culture. People was high pay, uh, poor work ethic, and very, very entitled mentality. Very entitled. Couldn't tell them people shit. They tell you what you need to do. They had just it was just and very argumentative and aggressive and combative. After, I don't care who you are, ain't nobody no damn superwoman. After a while, that that wears and tears on you. It'll wear you down. I don't care who you are. And if you don't manage that properly, then you will start to develop conditions. And it's just the truth, y'all. And I don't encourage that. Managing people is not healthy for an extended period of time. I believe that. And a lot of times we get stuck in these situations. It'd be hard to get out of it, because you become a slave to the salary, you know, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. If you don't address it now, it will address you later. And that's why I told my son, I said, that's managing people, because he's managing the boys. I said, stay, but we're gonna be looking, because it's high stress. And even though he get along with them boys, but see, here's the thing: the people that don't get along with them boys, and when something happened, since my son is a male, because it ain't that many males down there, they want to always put the males in the situation. I said, nah, that ain't fair to you. Everybody responsible. Everybody getting paid. And some of them boys flip out. Then you got to be the one that the punching bag. Skip that. Because you can't have no weapon. All you got is a walkie-talkie. You can't even have mace with them kids. And some of them kids, like I said, some mentally has been broken. It's just not it's not and I guess, a lot of people, some people been down there a long time, but they got also a high turnover rate too, because it's high stress. So anyway, y'all, that's it. I might come back on tomorrow. I'm almost back to my I got to get my hours up, because I'm almost back to having 4,000 hours. I got to get 4,000 hours. So anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. Um I found something else for us to talk about. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, lots of traumatizing experience. It is. Shoot, listen, I have walked out with trauma from dealing with people. So you put these young people in that arena, and whew, I can't imagine. Thanks for hanging out, Faith. Yep. Um, I'll try to come up with something else for us to talk about, but I'll be back. I'll try to come back on this weekend sometime. Be looking out for me, y'all. Have a great rest of the evening. Thanks for hanging out with me, and make sure y'all have a good night. It's always a pleasure. I'll see y'all again soon. Good night, everybody.